Fandom Menace is over. The Fandom Menace is over. I'm going to start at the end, which is my main point, which is that the Fandom Menace is Disney Star Wars. They menaced the fandom. They attacked the fans before the fans defended themselves. They gave us toxicity, and then we became toxic. They menaced the fandom and created the Fandom Menace. What came first? And in the news recently is that J.J. Abrams has admitted that he's terrified of the Fandom Menace and that they've destroyed his life. And yeah, that's true, but they're not done yet. There's still more of your life to destroy, young JJ, young Padawan. The Fandom Menace is simply any internet group that comes together on a subject. Like Anonymous is the original Fandom Menace. I find myself asking, am I part of the Fandom Menace? And I think the answer is yes. I might only get 2 views on each of my videos, and those views might be myself watching them because I just love them. But I've been watching other people's videos since day one. I've been posting on their channels. I've helped them make their channels huge. And just like Anonymous, it's the small people who often come up with the good ideas. For example, if I make a comment on someone's some famous, like, big YouTuber's channel, and then they take note of it, they will make a video using that information. Just like Anonymous, who comes up with the ideas? Who knows? You lose track. Half the shit that I say, I may have heard from somebody else's video. I don't give them credit necessarily because I forget that I got it from them. But, like, the person that... The entity that deserves the real credit for creating the Phantom Menace is Disney Star Wars. They forced people onto YouTube. I never went on YouTube until The Last Jedi came out because I was just desperate to hear anybody who had any sanity to them that wasn't saying that The Last Jedi was the greatest movie ever. I needed desperately to hear some reason that it's a terrible movie, in fact. And I found people that said that. And I needed that. And I'll never go back to, reading popular news like Fox News and IMDb critics. I'll never go back. It seems like only at the end does Disney understand that when you trash your fans and you you don't listen to them, you lose your fans. It's kind of a no-brainer, but fine. They understand at the end. And now they're making quality shows like The Mandalorian. But for someone like me, who is spiteful and filled with hatred, I'm not going to... I'll never pay money for them, for their crap again. You showed Luke milking a cow. That was the last chance I'll ever have to see Luke, who was my childhood hero. And that's what you gave me. So, like, why would I ever have anything but bile in my mouth? And, like, I watched the first 3 episodes of The Mandalorian, and yeah, they're good. But I was never into Mandalorians. I was into Jedis. I never liked Han Solo. Like, I always used to make fun of him when I was a kid. I'd say to my friends, anyone who likes Han Solo is a mediocre person. Like, you should like the Jedis. And Han Solo is just a fucking smooth-talking, just one of those assholes in the bar that, like, grabs a girl's ass. Like a shallow loser. He is a loser. That's part of his... He's a what is he? He's a scoundrel. I actually see a bright future for Star Wars. Disney Star Wars, in fact. If they do the Knights of the Republic, that would be amazing. If they did the story of Darth Bane, that would be amazing. I've never read it, but I hear it's incredible. And I played the game, Coder. Knights of the Old Republic would be incredible if it was done by somebody who's responsible and they kept to the story. But, I mean, and that's fine. I'll never pay for anything they do ever again because, again, Luke milked a cow, and that's unforgivable. They will come back. I'm positive of that because they got no choice. But it's going to take them 10 years. And 10 years, that equals money spent on Disney's parks. So they are losing big money. And these companies can't afford to lose money. They really can't. They go under. I read recently about how The Golden Compass, that movie, it's what bankrupted the company. I think it was either Alliance or it was New Line Cinemas. I mean, all of us are unfamiliar with what it's like having $10 billion and needing to make money and making a $200 million movie. How that would work even, right? But a friend of mine has 2 kids, and he once told me, having 2 kids isn't twice as hard. It's 4 times as hard. And he goes, having 3 kids is 9 times as hard. So it's like it works exponentially. Another great quote I once read about money was that if you're bad with money when you've got almost no money, you're going to be even worse if you had a lot of money. It just having money just amplifies your money problems if you suck with money. My point is that when Disney bought Star Wars for whatever, $5 million, give or take $1 billion, $5 billion, give or take $1 billion, they needed to make that money back within a very small, short amount of time, or else they would start losing money. Or that same friend who told me about having kids, how it's harder to have 2. He also told me once, he goes, I don't have money because all my money's wrapped up in like mortgages and things like that. He goes, you, in a real way, because I have no kids, I have no responsibilities. He goes, you, in a very real way, have more money than I do because you have disposable income. And the same, I guess, would be true with Disney, period. They do not have disposable income. Their income is all wrapped up in investments and shit. They can't afford for something like Star Wars to tank. So it is a very big deal. Continuing with that logic, in a way, I have more money than Disney does because I can afford to throw my money away because I don't have it wrapped up in anything. Anyways, the Fandom Menace is over because Rise of Skywalker is already a disaster. It was dead on arrival. The nuclear bomb hasn't even launched yet, and everybody's already getting radiation poisoning. It's like Disney pissed in the wind, and now we're seeing the piss land on their faces. It's like when your kid purposely does bad in school and purposely does self-destructive things, and you just say to the kid, like, who do you think you're hurting? It's like, I'll show you, Mom and Dad. I'm going to smoke cigarettes. It's like, yeah, but we're not the ones who are going to get lung cancer, right? When the Solo movie, when that came out, I went on Ethan Van Sciver, comic book artist Pro Secrets. I went on his channel, and he did a live review of it. And he was getting donations of $500, up to $500 from people every 2 minutes for like an hour and a half. And I forget how much money I did the math though. I'm like, so if he's getting $20 a minute, anyways, Disney made him a fortune. They made him a career. He's got so much money now because of the Fandom Menace that Disney created, that he was able to quit his job at DC and he's self-employed now. And there's at least 10 other channels, if not 50, probably 100, that have people who have made careers because Disney decided to piss in the wind, to smear shit all over their face, and it was just so entertaining that everybody is making videos about it. Like, Rian Johnson farted in a room, and everybody left the room because it stank. And then he got all proud, and he's like, see, they're leaving because they're afraid, because I'm so great. And Disney tried to say, you're only leaving because he's so great, because the movie was so good. That's why you don't like it. It was a truly subversive movie. And it's so funny, because it's fucking... Anyway, never mind. I've been dealing with this my whole life, subverting expectations. That's what abstract art does. So this is nothing new for me, but it's new for the fandom. But, like, whose expectations Rian Johnson subverted the most? Disney's. Oh, if I was Rian Johnson, I would just go... At this point, you might as well just keep subverting, right? I mean, you've already dug a hole this deep. Keep digging. Seriously, like, why stop now? Your career is already like etched in stone. Your future is etched in stone. If I was him, I would just go public and I would say I subverted Disney's expectations because they wanted to make money. And I was like, haha, look at this. I'm going to subvert your expectations. Disney's done. Disney Star Wars is fucked. You know, this reminds me of when X-Men 3 The Last Stand came out. And everybody was saying how great it was on the IMDb message boards. And I'm like, you're all fucked. It's an awful movie. And I go, you know what? 5 years from now, you're all going to be saying it was shit. But right now, the day it came out, you're all thinking it was great or something. Just mark my words. 5 years from now, everybody's going to say that movie killed X-Men. And so it did. So it was. And that's what's going to happen with this shit, where 5 years from now, J.J. Abrams, all of them are going to come out and say that The Last Jedi was shit. They're all going to come out and say it. And I'll repeat, just for prestige points, I knew this thing was a sinking turd. The moment they announced, way before 2 years, as soon as they bought Star Wars, when they announced that the new movie would be about new characters and it wasn't going to be starring the original characters, I knew it was like, okay, it's done. Why? Because they didn't understand that they had to pass the torch sensitively. Nobody needed the whole sequel trilogy to be starring Luke, Han, and Leia, but they needed to have significant roles in it. And to not realize that spelled certain doom. And I was like, I'll watch it to see Luke Skywalker one more time. That's how I approached these movies. So they didn't really break my heart. I was expecting the worst. And I mean, if you edited The Last Jedi down to like 2 minutes, it was well worth. I'm very grateful that I got to see Luke Skywalker one last time. Honestly, it was wonderful. A wonderful 2 minutes. Thanks to Mark Hamill and George Lucas for creating Jedis. Despite Rian Johnson's greatest efforts, I still got to see Luke Skywalker one last time. And that was awesome. Yeah, to be positive, to be optimistic, I would definitely watch Luke Skywalker doing anything, whether it's milking a cow or taking a shit. I would just still be like, well, it's Luke Skywalker, though. That's so cool to see him again. But going forward, I mean, I want to know ahead of time, what's Luke going to be doing in the next one? Is he going to be jerking off? Because at this point, you've shown me, you've already fooled me. So you didn't really fool me, but I want to know ahead of time what I'm in for. I want to know, is Emperor Palpatine going to be jerking off? I want to read it first before I watch it. Is Luke Skywalker going to have Down syndrome? Is he going to be wearing a helmet and going, use the Force, Rey? What else could they do? Oh, is Admiral Holdo going to show up as a Force ghost at the end? And it turns out that she's going to be the hero of the whole... I think that's the best course of action. Have Admiral Holdo show up. And with Rose Tico. And they're the original Jedi Masters. I mean, at this point, either correct it or just keep going in that direction. Just make it worse. Have Han Solo come back with his head up his ass. Just piss off the fans more. I mean, at this point, right? Why not? Just keep going. It's like the point of no return, Like, you've already, like, from the falling down, you've already gone so far you can't come back. So you might as well keep going. Anyways, the Fandom Menace is wonderful because it's the first time where there's a large amount of people who agree with me about something that I think is a no-brainer. Because my whole life could be summed up by me believing very strongly that something's wrong and everybody saying it's right. And having to, like, fight my whole fucking life to against everybody. And having to, like, prove to myself that I'm not insane for believing it. For believing that Inglourious Basterds was a shitty movie. For believing the Spice Girls were shit from day one and being embarrassed for them. This is the one time where there's a large amount of people that agree with me about this. That The Last Jedi was total shit. The Force Awakens. After I saw it, I'm like, holy shit, that was awful. It was a ripoff. And everybody I knew was saying, oh, it was really good. I loved it. And again, it was like, am I crazy? Like, what the hell's going... You don't see that it's like a complete copy? That there's a bigger Death Star? It's the same story? Like, I don't even know. But luckily, for me, people finally were like, yeah, you know what? It was shit. I'm just repeating myself, so I'll stop here. point. I'm enjoying this so much. It's like watching somebody at a party who acted like a complete asshole and being like, he's gonna get his comeuppance. It's gonna come. Karma's a bitch, and I don't believe in karma, but I mean, like, you get what you deserve. You asshole, worthless pieces of shit. You're going to hell when you die. I didn't even believe in heaven and hell or God until The Last Jedi came out, and then I'm like, oh, well, there has to be a hell if this can be made. Let's build a hell for this. Yeah. If you like gays, click like. If you like blacks, comment. If you like women, click notification bell. If you like gay women, subscribe. And if you like gay black women, Patreon, human warnings, give me money. I've been saying for a while that I want to take a break from these movies. I've seen every horror movie. I've run out of things to watch almost. But to my delight, I don't even need to put effort into doing this. I just don't want to watch movies anymore. So what I've been occupying myself with lately, because I'm writing a book about the devil and God, I'm listening almost entirely to lectures about the Divine Comedy, the Iliad, and Paradise Lost, because they deal specifically with God and the devil. As well, I'm listening to actual audiobooks of the Divine Comedy, the Iliad, and Paradise Lost. And that's just like, holy shit. Like, Hollywood is fluff. This is the deepest shit ever made. This is shit that's lasted for 1,000 years, which is beyond, it's beyond J.J. Abrams anyways.